tells you, kind of shows you how to assemble it. It'd be nice if the pictures were bigger. So I want to probably time lapse this because I know that you probably don't really care about watching the assembly. Now, it does come with a memory card and memory card reader. Comes with some test pieces that you can practice on. Allen wrenches. Okay. So I'm going to time lapse the rest of this. That we don't have to set through it. I'm going to move everything out of the way that we don't need. So here's everything that we're going to need to get this thing put together. And let's see the first thing it says to do here. Okay, so it's saying that these two here, let me kind of lay this out the way it's going to need to go. Okay, logo side up, label side up. Here's the label. Of course, I think I'm going to turn this way here. There's actually a label on both ends of this. It doesn't really specify which label. And now we're going to put together these four pieces. Don't want to tighten up all the hardware first. You want to just put it in loose. Now this is the one that's got the markings on it. The 0 is on this end. It's also the one that's got the limit switch. So the 400's at the end, the 0 is toward the front. I don't want to set this down on this limit switch right here, so I'm setting a piece of foam underneath it. And actually, I guess want to flip that upside down like that. Turn this upside down. Alright, so now I'm going to leave this loose until I get the gantry on. It's got the limit switch, so I've got to come in on this end. Alright. Very nice. So far I've spent maybe about 15 minutes. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how the belt works. I just figured it out. Let me see if I can. What's the easiest way to do this? So I'm making the belt to where it'll curl up. That way I can pull it up like this, and I'll show you this on the other side. Okay. So the belt goes under this wheel, up and around the gear, and then under that wheel. So I've got the belt all the way to that end. Put a T-nut in there. You'll turn it and then tighten it. Now on this end, I'm just going to pull the belt until that's tight. And when I say tight, it's actually not real tight. Snug. And hopefully you can see how that T-nut fits in there. The way they're designed, they will turn. They're not perfectly square, so they will turn. I'm just going to lightly tug here and snug the screw down. Then I'm going to cut it off. Belts are installed. Put the end cap on here. Now we have a working gantry. Everything is tight. We're installing these. You got a little tab right here. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so that's magnetic. So that's cool that you can, you know, set this down. Then when you're done, stick it right there for storage. Okay, let me get some cutters to cut these zip. There's 2 zip ties here that I'm going to need to cut off. Oh, there's one more adjustment that we're going to need to do. Usually one of these wheels are on an eccentric, because you need to, one of these wheels here are on an eccentric, and you need to tighten them up, snug it up to where the to where it doesn't do that. I'm assuming assuming that would be the bottom wheel, but I don't know. Well, let's see if the limit switch. So you can see the limit switch right there. Yeah, and that, I don't know if you can see the pointer. They've got a pointer right there. It's lined up exactly with 0. I mean, this is a beautiful machine. I have to really give them credit that they did a really good job on the construction of this. I'm very happy. I mean, this thing is rigid beyond belief. Much more rigid than what it would really need to be. So, very happy about that. Anyway, this thing is together other than this. Once I figure out which one of these wheels has the eccentric, I'll turn the camera back on and we'll go from there. And then I'll mount the laser and hook the wiring up. Okay, so if you look at these wheels, I've got this flipped up on its end. Just if you do that, be careful. Behind the wheel, you'll see the spacer. And you'll see that it's just round on both the top wheels. On the bottom wheel, there's a hex. And that's the eccentric adjustment. Meaning it's not perfectly round. You don't want them too tight because it'll wear the wheels out way too quick. So what I do is I'm pushing both these top wheels toward, so right now the belt is trying to lift this up because of the tension on the belt. So I'm going to push it down just by squeezing this extrusion in the top. So both the top wheels are pushed down against the rail. I can easily spin this wheel. And it's just barely touching. That's right where you want it. Okay, so that's good. So let's get the laser mounted up. And the nice thing about the laser, like I was saying earlier, you can see that's a dovetail slot. And that's it for the laser. Now the wiring. Now I've read that some laser cutters don't have limit switches. This one has a limit switch for the X and the Y. There's the limit switch for that axis. Here's the wiring for this limit switch down here. Does come with zip ties. Now when you do your wiring, Make sure the gantry can move all the way to the back and all the way to the side, because you don't want it to come up short and not be able to make its full travel. That's kind of what happened here, it looks like. So I need to... Okay, so the compressor comes with a splitter cord, so that the power supply plugs in here and then it splits off. Then one cord goes to the compressor, the other cord goes to the laser. So far, I love everything I've seen about this laser. The robustness, the sturdiness, the way it's put together, it's all perfect. The only thing I wish they would have done was the power input here. Would have been nice if it was on the side. Having a cord coming up in your face like that, I just don't think that was the best choice. I think it would have been better had they put it coming out over here on the side. But that's just me. I mean, that's a pretty minor deal. I mean, that could impede, you know, if you did need to hit the emergency stop, then, you know, it could get in your way coming around. But everything else about this so far has been great. So let's turn it on. I've got the practice, not the practice, but the TF card that came with the machine in here. There's a couple practice files on it. And I did go into settings and I hit language, which when I first turned this machine on, this is what I got. Now obviously the little gear I knew was settings, so I hit settings. I started tapping around on everything. This bottom option here is the language. And you got Chinese, English, and Japanese. I hit English, you go back, and now everything's in English. So I went back again, and now we've got carve. I'm gonna hit carve. There's the two files. One of them is a 2mm plywood carved butterfly. The other one is a 2mm plywood cutting dog. So I'm assuming the carved butterfly, it's just going to engrave it, basically. The cutting dog, it'll actually cut it out. I just want it engraved right now because I don't really have a good backing board. What I've got is I've got a piece of foam to lift the board up slightly. So I don't really want to cut all the way through that. Otherwise, it's going to get into that foam and it's going to stink the place up. So I'm gonna hit center. It says loading file. Then it's going to move it to what I'm assuming is the center of the workpiece. So I've got the workpiece centered for the most part. I did use the spacer tool to get my gap right. Now I'm going to frame it, and when I hit frame, that's going to frame the butterfly. All right. And now I guess I'm going to hit start. How many passes do you want to carve? I'm going to hit one to start with. Look at that. File print done. Okay. Let me go ahead and turn it off. You can hear the this thing from it cranks up, but it's not vibrating at all. I mean, it's a very smooth running machine. Take a look at it. Look at that. Oh wow, yeah, it's actually did a great job. Look at the little whiskers coming up, how fine those are. Well, there you have it. The Atomstack S20 Pro. The workable size is 400 by 400, which I think is about 16 or 17 inches in both directions, something like that. So not too bad. And I believe they make an extension so that you can extend this out, I think another 400 millimeter. But anyway, that's about it for now, until I really get some good stuff. This was just a quick unboxing and demonstration of the Atomstack. This is the S20, but the A20 and the X20, all the same machine except for the color. You guys take care.